This is episode 115 of That Shakespeare Life.
Hi, I'm Martha Carlin. I'm a professor of history at the University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, and I'm the author, among other things, of a book called Medieval Southwark. Another great method for studying the life of William Shakespeare includes listening to this. It's That Shakespeare Life with my friend Cassidy Cash.
I think that he and his contemporaries would have known multiple kinds of citrus fruits and would have made distinctions between them. But I'm sure that people in Shakespeare's day were quite knowledgeable about the differences. And they would have had sour oranges, or what we often refer to today as Seville oranges or bitter oranges, which are not all that often used today because they are quite sour. They're more likely to be used in cooking than common consumption.
Welcome to That Shakespeare Life with Cassidy Cash. Cassidy believes that if you desire to successfully learn or perform Shakespeare's plays, then understanding the real life and history of William Shakespeare himself is a must. That Shakespeare Life is the podcast that helps you go beyond the curtain of some of Shakespeare's most iconic works and explore the world of early modern England as Shakespeare would have lived it, learning from the writers, historians, and performers who know it best. And now, here's Cassidy.
Like so many of Shakespeare's words, even a single line can have an elaborate history. When it comes to the word orange, there is just such a history to be found if you know where to look. For the 16th century, oranges were a staple item for seasonal eating on tables from the average person all the way to the nobility, while the real rage in history for it being fashionable to have orange houses called orangeries in England would not hit in full force until after Shakespeare's lifetime. But the orange, the lemon, and sour oranges were not only in existence during Shakespeare's lifetime, but they show up in his plays. Interestingly, William Shakespeare may not have had the same kind of oranges we use today for our morning orange juice or to buy at a local grocery store. But not only did he have them, there were several different varieties. Here to help us explore where oranges came from, how they arrived in England, and what Shakespeare's talking about when he mentions an orange wife, as well as going to the orange, is our guest, Dorian Fuller. Dorian Fuller is an archaeobotanist that specializes in the history of plants, including oranges. Dorian is professor of archaeobotany at University College London. He works on past agricultural systems and plant domestication through archaeological research in several regions, including sub-Saharan Africa, the Near East, South Asia, and China. He has directed archaeological fieldwork in Sudan, Iraqi Kurdistan, and India. He has carried out archaeological fieldwork in India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, China, Turkey, Iraq, Morocco, Ethiopia, and Sudan, and archaeobotanical laboratory analysis even more widely than that. He co-authored Trees and Woodlands in South India, Archaeological Perspectives, and has published more than 300 articles and chapters. He received a European Research Council Advanced Investigator grant on comparative pathways to agriculture and several major grants from the UK Natural Environment Research Council. See a more complete list of Dorian's latest research and links to where you can learn more about him and his work in the show notes for today's episode. Hello, Dorian. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
During Shakespeare's childhood, William of Orange was the main leader of the Dutch revolt against the Spanish Habsburgs, which would ultimately lead to the 80 Years' War. Orange being the name which was given to this section of the Netherlands over which he was regent. This historical note indicates that linguistically, orange was a word that was well known during Shakespeare's lifetime and in use well before he was born even. But since the climate in Northern Europe is anything but hospitable to things like citrus fruit, I was wondering, Dorian, which came first, the color or the fruit?
Well, it's a slightly complicated question. I mean, in simple terms, the fruit came first because it gives its name to the color. But the truth behind the words is that the names and the meanings have a more complex and interesting story because of people mishearing words that sounded similar. So William of Orange takes his name ultimately from a name of a place in southern France, Orange. And its name is actually a very old one that has nothing to do with the fruit. So its name goes back to Roman times, at least.
Excited to see more? Subscribe today at cassidycash.com/experience to watch this entire interview, bonus archaeological footage, and documentaries and more all about the life of William Shakespeare. I'll see you inside.